think that's a great way to tie in the whole day and a half of what we got to go do. We got to go out and spread the word. We got some answers for people that are looking. You know, I do. I look at my children who are 22, 25, and 28, soon to be 29, and I sit there with this AI and I worry, are they going to have jobs? You know, what's the future hold for them? What are they going to do? And you know what? We got the answer. We just need people out there heralding the message. So it's been awesome. We got to hear from all the leaders from 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 stars, all the way up to, I still don't even know the rank, gold poobah, gold diamond, she tore it up. And now we get to hear from my good friend who works so tirelessly for us all. You know, some people that are CEOs have big egos, and it's all about them and about their accolades. And I've met a lot of them, and they're always out saying me, 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 me. I never hear Daniel say me, 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 me. Even when he's at his most tired, it's about the people. I can't let the people down. Daniel, go take a break. No, I can't. We got to do this meeting because I promised so-and-so I'm going to get it done. Daniel, you're exhausted. You worked for 14 hours today. That's fine. There's still 10 hours left. I've got to finish what I promised I was going to do for the people. And I love that. I hate that, but I love that. But if we just take a little bit of that work ethic and put it into our business, guys, we're going to have a multi-billion-dollar company. Because we have a product line, and one of the things that you need in a product line is one that people jones for. They got to have that they're not going to quit. We're not going to have that turnover. We don't want to be so opportunity driven that people just jump in for an opportunity if they don't make money to quit. That's what I love about the 3 products. It's the products that people they want. You know, they're not going to. Holly's over here just sucking down some of the purple juice, and you know, people are going. I took my footballs this morning, and people are going to do it. And so Daniel has put us into this most amazing position to go win. And so now we get to hear part of his vision. So please rise to your feet, guys. Let's give this man a rousing ovation for everything he's done for the last 2 years.
Give Corbin a big hand. And give Kim a big hand. You know, I think people look at Kim sometimes, she speaks softly. Every once in a while she yells. And it gets your attention, but she speaks softly, but what's inside of there is 8 feet tall. And I listened to Corbin's passion the last few days, 8 feet tall. Greg and Lori were the best I've ever seen. Mark Ewell has a lot of gas left in the tank.
Let's go, Mark.
Samson Lee has only hit a small portion of what he's capable of, but he's afraid to go to the next level. But that's a private conversation I'll have with him. I can see it. I'm here to share with you guys for a few minutes my heart as Nikki sits in the back of the room, one of my favorite people. As Sophie, who I challenge every day, I probably drive Sophie batshit crazy, excuse my French, and the team, but I'm just going to share with you guys. Macy, Marco, man, we got such a big corporate team. I was thinking about everybody. We have twice the team in Asia that we do in the U.S. from corporate. And you say, why? It's because we have 4 offices and a big staff over there. But I love Keith Tang. I love Tommy. We just hired a new gentleman that's running. He's our country manager for Taiwan, Brian. This guy's sharper than 4 Ginsu blades. Okay, if you can't catch that, it's a Ginsu knife. It's very sharp. But I was thinking, I've been really heavy the last few days. I was thinking on my heart, I want this to be fun. I want it to be inspirational. So I put together this little, I never nerd out with a little slideshow in my hand like a big nerd. I'm really a big nerd. So I put together a few slides, but I also want to share, just from my heart, a little back and forth between my phone and slides, and it'll be a little messy. I never wanted to speak when I got in this industry 8 years ago. I had 0 interest in speaking. I mean 0. I told Meg's partner, people have heard me say this, I just want to be the nerd behind the scenes, leave me alone. I'll run the operation. You know why? There was only one reason why. I was afraid to connect with people. No, I'm being serious. Most of you are afraid to connect with people. Most people don't show people who they really are because they're afraid people will judge you. We all know they're going to do it anyways. The minute you walk out of the room, they go, "Who's that idiot with the green shoes on?" These kids next door from Utah, they're in a door-to-door sales company. Brooks, right next door. We gave them all energy last night. They're all from Utah. I saw them this morning. They said, "Cool kids." They're Grateful Dead Nikes. But to their demographic, they liked them. Other people might think they're ugly. I could give a crap less. Because I like them. Where am I going with that? I want you to like you. I hired a coach a couple years ago, and I got on my first Zoom with Dr. David Lieberman. I shared this here in Las Vegas 2 years ago. I'm going to share my heart with you today, because we're going to take this to the next level. But this company will only get as big as my leadership allows. This company will only get as big as Kim, Holly Courtney, Epi, Leah, Chloe, Samson, Mark Yule, Greg and Lori, Ricky and Francois, Holly DeMont, Christine Peterson. Only gets big as our leadership will allow. Some companies grow and they retract really fast because they don't have the leadership to handle the growth that was created. I've seen that over and over. So I'm going to walk you guys through a journey. This event was called the Leadership Edge, right? 90-day run. And we're going to talk about the edge. You know, I've never shared this with anyone in the room. My wife would be the only one to know this. My wife is such an angel. Honestly, this sounds horrible. People can judge me whatever for saying. I at times question why God put her in my life and why I deserve her. She's literally an angel. My wife's the most patient saint of a human being. It's unbelievable. I've learned so much from her in the last 5.5 years on loving people, and she never talks about it. She just does it. She doesn't have a fake bone in her body. And and I'm challenging to be married to her. And you're saying, well, what? I'm intense. I sometimes look in the mirror and go, what the heck, Daniel? And so I'm going to share with you guys a story because Kim shared about Lance and Tracy, what a blessing it was 3 years ago today. And I want to share with you guys and take you through a little journey. I'm going to be all over the map. So if you're expecting me to be this polished speaker, I'm not going to be, but I'm just going to share from your heart. So I jotted down a ton of notes. Change your mindset. Wherever you go, there you are. I jotted that down. November 2016. I said, I need to share with these people. This is the first event on my previous platform. I said, I need to stop telling them to listen to people whose money is shorter than a midget on its knees. You guys are all taking advice from people that have no clue what advice they're giving you, and it's free advice, and it's pretty much worth that. It's free. Stop listening to them. If I spent all day listening to all the naysayers about three, we wouldn't have a platform or a company. So I'm going to walk you through this journey. I put in here manifestation. If there's one thing I believe in, it's manifestation. I had a mentor at 24 said, walk into the restaurant like you own it, because someday you might. Amen. I want you to walk into this room from here on out. I want you to leave and do a presentation like you own it. By the way, there's a big difference. A lot of you have saleswoman, salesman breath. Desperation. You can't attract somebody of the opposite sex if you just hound all over them. Does anybody know that? You got to play a little hard to get, right? Give them the Heisman every once in a while. Oh. Right? Am I right? That's what attracts somebody, a little bit of confidence. But you sit down with that prospect and you go, oh, if I just had you in my business, we'd have a business. No, you got to say, you need this, and I'm willing to run with you. Let's go do this together. So I'm going to take you guys on a journey of the last few years. I put in here big dreams. Watching people get so excited over a Gucci wallet in France warmed my heart. A Gucci wallet. I gave the 6 stars a Gucci wallet. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't that expensive. They're $300, $400, $500 a piece. Now, if you're in here and you're saying, man, that's a lot of money, then you're broke. Change your mindset. Why is that a big deal? Because I have a heart to give. I want to give. I want to reward. I want to take our leaders where we've never been. I put in here France and Monaco. That was a special trip. We were at a winery one day that started in 1290, 800 years ago. Started by a group from the Catholic Church. They started this monastery. They started a monastery slash winery, and they gave us a tour. We got to drink some wine. At the end of it, we went through an art gallery that was there. Heping will know that. Leah and Holly Corbin and Greg and Lori and everybody that was there. And they had this Chinese art on one of the displays. And I think the guy wasn't super happy with us. He was very French. I'm actually French because most of my roots, my dad's first language was French. Didn't speak English till he was 7 down in Louisiana. Met my mom and had me in Colorado, but my father was from Louisiana. That's where I get Picou, French roots. The French are very serious.
Oui, oui, monsieur, pay attention. We're in an art gallery.
So Greg and Ricky and I would kind of tease each other playing pranks. And they had this Chinese art where the people had no heads. You guys remember that? And the guy wasn't super happy with it, but I turned to Mr. Frenchman and I said, tell me what that art means. And man, this was powerful. It was Chinese art. I said, that's kind of weird. I don't get it. It's obviously art's, that's weird. And he says, here's what I can tell you in his broken English. He says, that Chinese art was never meant to be perfect. And the illustration is because life is not perfect. And I thought, wow, those 4 pieces, I bet you if you walk 1,000 people through there, they would have no idea what the real meaning was. Life is not supposed to be perfect. I put on here, please share with everybody from your heart the rest of the story. I'm going to share it today. It's never been shared. I was in my previous platform. It was good. I was pouring my heart and soul. Before I met Kim, before I met Samson, before I met Lance and Tracy, I had a gentleman. Does anybody know who It Works is? Does anybody know who It Works is? See a few hands. Mark Pentecost got up to $700 million a year. Mark reached out through a friend. I flew down to Bradenton, Florida. It Works. They had the rap, right? I have so much respect for Mark. What a great man. Been fighting multiple myeloma in Bradenton, Florida. So I flew down to It Works. And I met with Mark. And I'm in the middle of my last platform. And Mark says, Daniel, we've had 14 CEOs that we've interviewed. And I'm sitting with him, this gorgeous Bradenton, Florida. He owns the whole building. They have a slide in the middle of the corporate office. And Mark says, I've interviewed 14 people to take over for me. 22-year-old company doing $700 million a year. And he looked at me, best friends with Nick Vitale. He's got everything, the corporate jet, the helicopter, the island, Boquita Island off Florida. And he said to me, Daniel, you're my guy. You have an edge to you. I don't care about education. You love people and you have an edge to you. It's called the leadership edge. And Mark said, you're my guy. We're going to go do this. And I haven't worked for anybody in 20 years. And I said, something doesn't feel right. He says, invite your wife down. I invite my wife down. She flies down to Bradenton, Florida. Does anybody know him? She comes down and they have a seafood restaurant called Pier 22 right there in Bradenton. Everybody knows Mark. He owns half the town, 14,000-acre ranch, an island, literally an island with an Idaho golf course on it. It's helipad. Mark's made a fortune. He's made over $1 billion as an owner in this company. $1 billion with a B. And Mark said, you're my guy. And we were sitting in a big office there in Bradenton. His office, massive. His office was massive. He says, this is all yours. True story. Mark, if somebody's recording this, I hope they reach out to Mark. Mark's a dear friend. I'm going to see him at the CEO event in 2 weeks. I'm going to thank him, and I'll get to that in a minute. And Mark said, Daniel, you got a crazy edge to you. You love people. You're crazy intense. I can see it in your eye. I can just feel it. We've had 14 people in here, and I want to figure out how do we take what you have currently and bring it here, and we figure this out. And something just didn't feel right. But my wife said, explore it. We flew down. We went to Pier 22. And he had his daughter there, and he had Kyler, his son, and his 2 daughters, Cam, he had family there, and his wife there, and Doug, his accountant, and Jerry, his CFO, and I met everybody. And I spent time at the office, and we're talking, and we're having passionate conversations, and I'm saying, man, what you built's incredible. You've done billions of dollars. And he says, man, you're my guy. I went back to his little hotel, nothing fancy, little Marriott down the street there on the water by Pier 22, and I said, it just doesn't feel right. Charity said, come on, what doesn't feel right? They took my wife and I that day on his helicopter. We went from Bradenton, an FBO, which is called a fixed base operation. We flew from Bradenton. He has a hangar there with his jet and helicopter. And they flew us over to his island. And my wife played ping pong with him over at the island. Then from the island, they flew us over to the ranch. And you're saying, what does this have to do? And I'm going to share with you in a minute. So we're on his helicopter. Beautiful. All green, because it works. It's all green, they're branding. And we're there, and Mark's talking to the helicopter. He's just the nicest guy ever. Went to Michigan State, he's a diehard fan. And he's given so much. He's given $65 million of his own money away. That's a fact. The Pentecost Family Foundation. So he's done so much. The local school in Bradenton is the Pentecost Christian Academy, named after him and Cindy, his wife. They're just wonderful human beings. And we're flying over there. We go to the island. We go to the ranch. My wife, by the way, beat up both places. At Picou. Drove her crazy. It's so competitive. And I got back to our little tiny Marriott. And I said, it just doesn't feel right in my heart. It doesn't feel right. I just knew it. And I flew down a third time after that without my wife. And I said, I'm going to go down a third time and see if what's in here. Do I feel, and I still felt the same way. Just something about it. It just didn't fit right with me. At the same time all this was going on, Kim and Samson's previous platform, I knew the owner over there. I'm going to say something very blunt. Please don't be offended because I love you, Kim Wee. The owner over there, I flew to Lake Mary. I met with her. They flew the corporate Challenger 604, picked me up, picked my wife up, flew on the Jeunesse plane more than Kim did. And that pisses me off. Because Kim did billions of dollars with that company. And they flew the plane out. They said, we'd like to talk. Same thing, not nearly like Mark. It was different discussions completely. But you know what I did? I put my phone, this was 4.5 years ago, I put my phone Mary Kay's corporate Gulfstream 650. And I pulled that picture up last night and I put my phone and I said, I'm going to somehow have a success plane where I take people all over the world with that Gulfstream. I still have that picture, by the way. That's Mary Kay Incorporated. Look at that jet. G650. That was 4.5 years ago. I didn't know Kim. I didn't know Samson. I didn't know Lance and Tracy, but I knew these warriors. I knew Holly Corbin. I knew Mark Yule because nobody's treated me like Mark Yule has. As a friend. Screw business. As a friend, Mark's treated me incredible. I knew Greg and Lori. I knew Ricky and Francoise. I knew Holly DeMont. I knew Christine Peterson. I knew some freaking warriors. And Kim had these warriors. She calls them her APAC core, and then she's got the 40. She's got the 6 or 8 APAC leaders, and then she got the 40. So 4.5 years ago, I put this picture in my phone. Why is this relevant? Because I was flying on the plane from Kim's old company, Wendy's plane, that she let her son use every week. That's another story for another time. It didn't help anybody. It was all status and crap. If we had a plane here, I'd be flying people all over the country, crisscrossing, sharing this message. So between the J Company, Kim's previous platform, I was on their plane, by the way, when I put Mary Kay's plane on my phone. And on going to look with Mark Pentecost, who treated me incredibly, with the utmost respect. I have nothing but glowing things to say about Mark and Cindy Pentecost. I told Mark it just doesn't feel right. I can't do it, it doesn't feel right. And yet, then guess what happens? A little over a year later, this couple, as I shared yesterday, connects with Lance and Tracy, who connects with Kim. And my wife was so sweet. She said, a year ago, when you said you didn't want to ever work for someone, because you hadn't in 2 decades, it all brought you to 3. Had I gone to either one of those places, I wouldn't have been available to fulfill my mission and my calling. If I had gone to either one of those places, I wouldn't be here to start this beautiful tapestry that we all call 3. I was tempted. The perks were amazing. The pay, I called a friend of mine who I leaned on for advice. He's in his 80s today. Reminds me a lot of Christine Peterson. He's 87. Lives in Bel Air, California. I called Richard and told him what the offer at Works was, and you know what he said to me? He said, are you crazy? You're not going to take it. I said, it just doesn't feel right. I called a second friend to get advice in Denver, who I've been friends with for a long time, since I was 15 years old. And Mike said, you must be higher than a giraffe's ass not to take that off. And those I like one-liners. It's a true story. A year later, I was humbled to fly to Sedona, sit in a coffee shop, look this person in the eyes, and say, let's go do this together. This has never been about me. You don't even need to clap. This is not about me. This is about Kim, Samson, Happy, Leah, Holly Corbin, Greg Laurie, Christine, Holly DeMont, Ricky Francoise, Colina Litsky, Mark Yule, Patrick Tang, Harris, these people that believed in us. I take you on that journey for a few minutes to tell you this. life's more than money. Do I want you to make a pile? Absolutely. I believe if I had gone there and tried to just play a role and been an employee and been the CEO and ran either one of those operations, I believe A, not only would I have been miserable, B, not only would I have had a boss, but C, it's not what I was destined to do. I was destined to take risk. I was destined to be brave. I was destined to be bold and take this little boy from Colorado and do big things. I was back in Tennessee 6 weeks ago, flew into Denver for 24 hours. And I went by the apartment at 750 West Bellevue, right on Broadway and Bellevue that I lived in, right when I got out of state's custody. I had to look it up online. How big are these apartments? It was 612 square feet. That's where I started this little journey. And so as I take you through the next few minutes, I want to share a few more things with my heart here. Mark said to me, you got an intensity and a passion. I want you. What's it going to take? Let's just get it done. And the number kept going up. Guess where I'm going to see Mark Pentecost from It Works? On October 6th at DSU in Dallas. I'm doing a regional with Nicole Barone and her amazing team in New Jersey on the 4th of October. I'm flying on the 5th from New York to Dallas. I'm going to see Mark at the CEO meeting with 85 CEOs. And I have one message. I've written him a 3-page letter because he's been fighting multiple myeloma and he's beaten it. He's done billions. He's in his 60s. I think he's 68, 69. I've got a letter written for him, and that letter is thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for the offer. Thanks for making me feel good, but I was meant for more. And I remember him telling me when he left being a basketball coach, he was meant for more. That's how It Work started. I'm going to thank him in person. I'm going to pull him in the hallway in Dallas and say, if I had taken the offer, if I had gone there, I wouldn't be here. I want to thank you. And he'll say, huh? And I'm going to say, I got a letter for you. I've already written it. Read it a couple weeks ago. Went to my basement home office, put everything down, my thoughts down. I'm going to hand it to Mark. He'll get emotional because there's some really emotional things in it. And I'm going to share with Mark, thank you for the offer. But why am I thanking Mark? Let me tell you why. I would say Mark, more than anybody else in just a 3-trip session, he raised my bar to another level. He took me to the ranch. He took me to the island, the jet, the helicopter, the pilots. He said that what drove him was a little company out of Michigan with the A, because he came from Michigan. Anybody know the A company out of Michigan, Grand Rapids? At one point they were doing $1 billion a month. Mark said, I started this to go compete with them. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. We're going to go kick It Works ass. All right. Excuse my French. We're going to go kick the J company's ASS. Because the J company had a massive Asian business because they had incredible leaders, but their domestic business wasn't that great. Because they started doing deals for networkers. There were historians and mock stars, not rock stars, but mock stars. They started doing these business agreements. And while Kim went over there and built a heck of a profitable business over there, the U.S. pulled him down. Maybe she got some PTSD with North America. I'm being serious. They did $13 billion and $11 billion of it was in Asia. I'm here to tell you the Americans are not lazy. I'm here to tell you the Canadians are not lazy. I'm here to tell you that I'll put our group from my previous platform up against anybody. I'll put Kim's group. I'll put Hepting at 72, who leaves his house for a month at a time to go to Asia, up against anybody. I've never seen Hepting and Leah without a smile on their face. Every time I see Leah, she's smiling from eye to eye at breakfast this morning. These guys have the hearts of a champion. I'll put Christine Peterson up against anybody I've met in this industry. Period. Christine doesn't need to be here. I know where she lives. She lives in Aspen, one of those beautiful and expensive places in America. So where am I going with this? I'm going to thank Mark. But more than thanking Mark or anyone in the industry, I want to thank our leadership. It's Tracy's 40th plus whatever she wants it to be birthday. I wouldn't be here without Tracy. I wouldn't be here without Lance. Lance is like Cool Hand Luke. Brings wisdom. He's like a Cool Hand Luke. Brings wisdom. Man, I love what they shared yesterday. I wouldn't be here without Holly and Corbin. And I haven't said that enough publicly. I wouldn't be here without Samson. Because Samson's in Kim's ear.
He's like her barometer. How you feeling? How you feeling today, Kim? Samson's like massaging your shoulders. Everything's good, Kim. Just relax. Everything's good. Take a deep breath, Kim. Everything relax. Like messaging each other.
They probably WhatsApp 2,200 times a day. I wouldn't be here without Samson. I wouldn't be here without George Ruiz in the back of the room, who I've known for a long time. I wouldn't be here without Adrian, who had guts to come over this platform. I wouldn't be here without Christine Peters, who had guts. Holly DeMont that said, heck yeah, we're in. New platform, new company, let's go. I wouldn't be in here if Mark Yule, a week before we pre-launched, came to the office. By the way, Mark always wants to be in the know. What's going on? And he never shares the information. It's like he tells everybody in here, wake, wake. Mark comes to the office the week before and says, I believe in you. Mark, that meant something to me. When you came to our old office and said, if you're launching a new platform, I want you to know the leaders believe in you and I believe in you, that meant something to me. It meant something to me when Kim, on February 17, 3 days before I met her leadership for the first time on a Zoom with her and Samson, it meant something to me when Kim called me, probably doesn't even remember this call on WhatsApp, and said, Mr. Picou, you were chosen to do this. That meant something to me. That gives me the chills. It meant something to me when Holly and Corbin on our last rewards trip in Mexico, true story, they know this to be fact. I sat them down and said, we're blowing up our previous company. What? I mean, our current company. What? I said, we're launching a new company. You heard of Kim Wee? They heard of Kim. You know, Holly and Corbin, for 15 minutes, they didn't pound me with one question. They didn't. That's a true story. I went back to my wife's room and she says, Holly and Corbin have to be freaking out. I said, no. They said, let's go do this. They said, we trust in you. That meant something to me. By the way, we spent 62 grand in this room in food. I'll speak as long as I'd like. So if anybody from the Jacob area comes in, hand them a thing of Kinetic, George, and get their phone number, please. Because I want to share for a few more minutes. The security guy was doing circles this morning. We had the Kinetic van. Marco and I, what did we do, Marco? Marco, what did we do? We handed him Kinetic, correct? That's how hard the business is. We sampled the kids last night. Greg and Lori were on them, like flies on poop. All over, boom! Right in the hallway, they should be. That's why Greg and Lori have built big businesses. That's why Adrian's built a big business. Christine Peterson meets Kimberly Struck. What a story. She's always talking. So where am I going with this? I told you I was going to ramble a little bit. This is my art. The leaders believed in me. Kim's group, we're not one company, by the way. We're not one market. People go, oh, we're one company, we're here this. We're bigger than one company. There's a lot of companies that are one company. We're one community, one culture, and one family. We're not one company. There's thousands of companies out there. We're one community that no one has what we have. And guess what's on my shoulders? It's to bring the first two rows of these leaders together like no one ever has. Phil Jackson was not the greatest coach in NBA history. He was the greatest uniter in NBA history. He took Kobe and Shaq and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and people could barely speak to each other, united them for the greater good. We got a leg up. Our people love each other. Our leadership, they love each other. I saw Ricky laughing with Greg in France. I saw Patrick, and the whole crew, Patrick Tang laughing with Ricky. I want to unify this group for the greater good so we can serve you. I might say, screw this slide, but I gotta go through these a minute. Next thing I put on here is, I owe you these 4 things, and I'm trying to dial these in. We need simple with a 30-second message. My 21-year-old, 17 seconds is the average TikTok. The average person under the age 28 only watches a TikTok for 4 seconds before they make the decision to click off or stay. 17 seconds, average TikTok. Now there's ones that are longer, but the average is 17. Average person, you ready? Watches 23 TikToks per day. Wow. 23 swipes per day. So I put on here, I owe it to you to have a 30-second simple message. Easy to order, easy to check out, easy to do business with us. And a comp plan that's easy to share. Our comp plan is lucrative. You do it, nothing's easy. I heard somebody say it's not easy. It shouldn't be. It rewards the leadership that are out building. Comp plan's the same for everybody. The question is, what volume have you put into it? But I put on here simple, I owe that to you. I put on here something that can be talked about in a social setting. Guys, if there's one message you learned, leave here in a few minutes from me. Stop being scientists. I keep preaching this from the rooftops. We have the best products out there. I'll put Dr. Dan, I've said it 100 times, it's not a sales pitch. He's a phenomenal human being, but he's an even better formulator. He's the best. Love the guy. Stop being scientists. Let Dr. Dan do all the work. I want to give you something you can talk about in a social setting and make it simple. The third thing I owe you is mainstream. It must appeal to the masses. Eternal appeals to the masses with glutathione. That's an easy conversation. If you see the posters, thousands of posts going around about glutathione that we've talked about the last 30 seconds. Well, guess what? Did you know we have a product, Mary, called Eternal with glutathione in it? That's an easy mainstream conversation. Talking ingredients and science, nerding out before Dr. Dan, you're going to lose people. Last thing I put on here is I want to make this company have the cool factor. If I offend anybody in here, I apologize, but it's not my heart to do so. When Kim asked how many people were 40 years and under and 5 hands went up in the room, I want to change that. Do I believe this room's the movers and shakers are going to change society? Absolutely. I'm 47. As I say all the time, I don't look 47. I look 57. I said yesterday, Antoinette, black don't crack. Well, white does crack, okay? There's some miles on this body. Because I didn't have much to start with. But I was going to outwork everybody. It's never stopped. There's some miles on this body. There's some wear and tear. If they took me to a Goodyear tire shop, they might say, we need to at least balance this thing. But I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, because the person it's made me become. I put on here, if I had one goal for everybody, yes, I want to help you make a fortune. Yes, I want you to know something. Nobody's more passionate in sports than me. I've been so blessed to go to big events. Been so blessed to go with Corbin. Bo Van Pelt gave us tickets to go sit on the 16 with a hole-in-one at the Waste Management in Scottsdale a few years ago. Been so blessed to see. I might be one of the only people, and I don't know how this happened. I saw Kobe score 81 at Madison Square Garden. I was at the game. I haven't met anybody else who's at that game, by the way. A friend of mine called me, said, I've got tickets. And I went to New York for 4 days, and I got to see Kobe in his highest scoring game ever. It's a memory I'll never forget. I'll never forget going to the Super Bowl with only 14,000 people in Tampa a few years ago, watching Tom Brady take Mahomes to school. Where am I going with this? No one loves sports more than me, but I can tell you this. Our athletes are not our heroes. You are. If you're setting people free and setting them up for a different future than they had before, I have more respect for you than I do any athlete in the world. Yeah, they can hit a ball. Yeah, they can throw a ball. Yeah, they can make the hoop. Yeah, the big shot. Yeah, they can hit a golf club. But if you're out in the living rooms of America, inspiring, loving, caring, and sharing this platform, this opportunity, and these products with people, I mean this, and I want you to take this. You're my heroes. You're the reason I get so intense with our corporate team. You're the reason I want our trips to be amazing. You're the reason I want to make sure our comp plan is easy to explain. Stop explaining 29 parts of the comp plan. Start explaining comp plan stories. Facts tell, stories sell. I got this lady in my business 3 weeks ago. You're not going to believe what happened in only 3 weeks. This is what she's done. This is what she's made. This is how simple it is to share. Focus on 1 or 2 products that you're absolutely passionate about. Then, Holly Rouse sponsored 2 people 2 days ago. Guess what? They came in because they were interested in Eternal, but they also bought a little collagen. Isn't that interesting? She wasn't focused on all 11 products. She was focused on Eternal. They came in and got collagen. Now, we have options where they can try one of everything. Where am I going with this? You're my heroes. That's not a sales pitch. That's honesty from my heart. Kim's my hero. Samson's my hero. Holly and Corbin. I'm going to go down the list. Ricky Francois, Holly Lamont, Greg and Lori. There's been some intense conversations that challenge me to be better. I need that. You need that. That's why you're here. You're here to get the edge. Next thing I put on here, I told you I was going to ramble, I'm passionate. Dr. David Lieberman 2 years ago. That wasn't cheap, but worth every penny. He's the best. After everything, and going through that, what personal growth that was for me. 3 things I nailed down. Number 1, I and we deserve success. You say, well, that's an obvious one. I would bet you 9 out of 10 people in this room don't think they deserve success. I can watch how you hold your shoulders. I can watch how you talk to each other. I can watch how you guys would be shocked if this thing worked for you, some people. You know that? Oh my God, I finally got a runner. Don't say anything. Hey, when they show up to the meeting and Kim presents, make sure you're on your best behavior. Make sure your feet are perfect. Make sure you're wearing your white shirt and everything's tucked in. If you say one thing, John is going to run out of the room. I've been working for a year to get this one guy, and he's going to run. And I was talking to this lady from the paint company. She's so awesome, but nobody shows up at my meetings, and if she runs, the game's over. Don't bet your business on 1 or 2 people. You deserve more. I put in here, I and we deserve success. I and we deserve to be loved. You're going to say, what? Nikki, you deserve to be loved. Everybody in this room, Holly Roush, you deserve to be loved. I can go person by person. Tony, most positive person I know, deserves to be loved. And last but not least, I deserve to love myself. Wow, we deserve to love ourselves. I'm very raw, and I just try to lay it out. I put on here, by the way, Hepping walked up to me this morning. Hepping made a big mistake yesterday. A big mistake. And Hepping's up here laughing. I love Hepping. Hepping said at breakfast, Daniel, I think I made a little mistake. It was actually a big mistake. He said, I told people I made 500 times the money of what I put into my previous platform when I joined. He said, little mistake. It was actually 5,000 times. That's a big number. Yeah, that's a big number. And Heppy was so sweet, and Leah's just sitting there going, where's the money? You wonder how he keeps the relationship so passionate? Take your wife to dinner every once in a while. Buy her something nice. She might fall back in love. Oh, no money, no honey. Right? People don't want to hear that. Ladies, feel good for your man, everyone. You know what I'm saying? Have some fun. Stop worrying about what people think. I love having 5,000 times. Oh, and then he said the best thing ever. I said, well, I probably have to share that. He goes, I just forgot the 1 0. Yeah, 500 to 5,000 is a big difference. I want you to dwarf what you did before. I want you to build 3 and 4 and 5 times bigger than you ever dreamed was possible. You're an inspiration to me, Happy. Christine, you're an inspiration to me. So I'm going to walk you guys through for a couple of minutes. This weekend gave you the edge, now it's time to use it. What is the leadership edge? By the way, the word edge is so big. Mark Pentecostal, it works. I asked him flat out, okay, you've interviewed 14 people. Why me? I have no education. I'm a smart guy, but you wouldn't know that on paper. Because I'm self-taught. I say I'm a smart guy, I'm actually really dumb at times. I'm smart in certain areas. None of us have all the answers. I always tell people, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you need to find a different room. Because I'm learning every day. And if somebody tells you they have all the answers, I'm telling you to run so fast, you should be in an Ironman. Run so fast. None of us have all the answers. Kim knows what she knows. She's still growing in areas. Samson knows what he knows. Christine Peterson, the best thing she said, if you didn't listen to one other thing the last 2 days, she stood up there and said, I'm 82 years old and I'm still learning. Christine, that resonated with me. I wrote it down. Christine Peterson. November 26th is still learning. In 6 months, I'm going to say, Christine, what have you learned in the last 6 months? But the edge, I want you to think about the edge. By the way, most of you don't have an edge. Get an edge. What's the edge? It's the funky shoes you wear. It's how you're different. My wife for 5 years has said, it's so weird how fascinated you are with tattoos. Adrian came up, she was just at a wedding this week with her brother in Ogden, Utah. She showed me the gal that her brother married had all these tattoos. I've always wanted to get a few tats. I don't know why. Maybe for an edge. But where am I going with that? When I see somebody that's all inked up, I grab my wife, goes, oh, here he goes again. I can talk tattoos for 20 minutes. Why? I think the person has an edge. It's their art form on their body. You might say, I would never get a tat. Well, then don't get one. It's not your body. My point is, get yourself an edge. I've never said this to Sophie. I'm going to say it publicly. One of the reasons I love Sophie and I believe in her in her mid-20s, she has this edge to her. She has an edge. She's Latina. She's got that edge. I won't dance like Corbin did. But Sophie's got a little edge to her. Marco has a little edge to him in a different way. I want you to get an edge. That edge will set you apart. Kim walks into a room with 6'4" men, she owns the room, she's 5'2". She has an edge to her. She walks in with a confidence and a spark. Corbin, I've never seen Corbin show up the last 2 years with an edge to him the last 2 days. Holly delivered, knocked it out of the park yesterday. Mark Yule's getting his edge back. He's getting it back. His signal. George Ruiz has an edge to him. That guy can talk comp plans and companies like you've never heard. Christine Peterson has an edge. Elizabeth Munia has an edge. The way she carries herself. Kimberly Starr, come out of your shell. You got an edge to you, but you're still working on it. You got tons of talent. I'm being serious. Shannon Schmidt, I'd follow her any day of the week. She not only has an edge, she has a heart to her. I can go person by person who has an edge to him. Patrick Tang, the guy can light up a room with his smile. He's got an edge. I want everybody in here to figure out what your edge is as we walk out of here in a few minutes. Proactive, not reactive, to me is an edge. You better own your growth. I got to tell you something. I'm being very, very raw. Holly and Corbin and I have had some really tough conversations this week. Kim Wee and I have some tough conversations. Mark Yule, I had him in the office the other day, some tough conversations. Greg and Lori, tough conversations the last couple months. You know what? We all need to own our business. Not one of you are W-2. I haven't had a W-2. Last time I collected a W-2 was 2003. I got a W-2 in 2003. I don't want somebody telling me when I go to the bathroom, when I can freaking take a day off. Somebody the other day told me, poor Marco told me, his wife works, they give her 5 vacation days a year. Marco, we got to change that for you. Maybe your wife wants to take 2 weeks off per year, not 5 days per year. I haven't had W-2 in 22 years. Where am I going with that? You got to figure out what your edge is, but you got to own your business. Everybody knows you come in this industry, it's easy in, easy out. Holly Corbin owned it. Kim Wee told you how broke she was. She owned it. Samson owned it in his Honda back in the day. Today he sent me pictures. He's got 2 beautiful Porsches. He's got a male and a female Porsche. He's got a white one and a yellow one. They just talk to each other when he's not driving. Samson had to own it. He said to Kim, I'm broke. Teach me this business. And he had to humble himself 20 years ago. If he hadn't humbled himself, Kim would have said, I'm not interested in mentoring you. They've grown a friendship. Corbin said, over my dead body, are we going to be one of those things? And Holly said, over my dead body, you're going to keep working a corporate job. And she locked herself in the bathroom, in the closet, started making phone calls. But she still showed up as a wife and a mom, as she said yesterday, and she built a hell of a business. Excuse my French, but it's the truth. Greg and Lori, dead broke, couldn't buy diapers for their kids, got in this industry a week after they got married in 33 years. Their anniversary was yesterday, 33 years. Here at 3, their anniversary. Where am I going with this? I want you to own your business. Look at the second thing, own your growth. It's not up to corporate to own your growth. It's not up to Kim to own your growth, or Samson, or Holly and Corbin. But what they'll do is push you and support you. I want everybody in here to own your growth. I told you I was going to get intense. Build people, not just sales. Every speaker that spoke this weekend, I've tried to WhatsApp. Kimberly, you did a great job. Elizabeth, you're going to get a WhatsApp from me because you did a stellar job. Irene, you're going to get a WhatsApp from me. I'm getting both your numbers. I sent Shannon Schmidt. I sent all the leaders yesterday a message. Something unique. Something I want you to know you inspired people. You touched the room. Shannon, is your first time speaking, but wow. Build people, not just sales. I believe in Shannon Schmidt. I believe in everyone here. I want to build people. not just sales. But we're going to get big revenue, but I want to build people. Lead by example. Guys, I can't tell you how important this is. I put some notes on here. Register for events right away, show, don't tell. Two messiest parts of this company for recognition and trips. I can't tell you how many people register at the last minute. There'll be no exceptions made in the future. We got a registration deadline for a reason. We're going to send you on a trip. By the way, don't thank me for the trips. Thank yourself. They're your trips. Mexico, I didn't buy anybody's Mexico trip. You earned it through your hard work. Thank you. I didn't buy Vietnam for you. You earned it. If you're a 6-star or above, I didn't buy France, Monaco. You earned it. Thank you. We should be thanking you, not the other way around. Thank you. But register for the trips right away. Register for Dallas right away. Get to Dallas. Book your flights. Tell your team I just left Vegas. You wouldn't believe what happened in a day and a half. I'll see you in January in Dallas. I put on here over the last 2 days, we talked about tools, strategies, recognition, and most importantly, belief. But more than anything, we've been sharpening our edge. This event was not just a training. I believe it to be a turning point in this platform. Now it's time to leave here with clarity, conviction, and a plan. For this slide, I put be proactive, not reactive. Take ownership of your own growth and results. Everybody needs to become a builder of people, helping others rise and cheering people on. Lead by example. Stop asking your team what they can do. You need to show your team what you can do. Showing a sense of urgency, because leadership's about timing. And right now the timing is perfect. Move with sense of urgency and speed. That's what I try to get our corporate team to do, and they do an amazing job at it. I want our field leadership, and there's a bunch of them that are moving with urgency and speed. I want you to know how important this is. I want to move like a fighter jet. I want to do it quick. Next is the big why. Build belief in yourself and your team. Guys, I had some serious personal growth to do. I didn't realize, and this is just recently, how much words matter. Kim, words matter. Samson, words matter. Holly Corbin, Mark Ewell, Adrian, Christine, George. I want you guys to know how much words matter. I didn't know this. Shame on me. Not you, me. I had to grow. I had to be careful because, man, I'm intense. I didn't realize how much words matter in this industry. I've had to learn that, especially the last couple of years, more than ever. Because I just went, done, let's go, right? But I put on here, build belief in yourself. Because I want us all, when we leave here, to not celebrate the big wins. I've heard different small wins, big wins. I want us all to celebrate the small wins. Mark, you enrolled somebody new this week you're excited about. I love it. That is amazing. Shannon, you just enrolled somebody new you're fired up about. I want to congratulate you. George Ruiz, you're doing an amazing job. Adrian, wow. Christine Peterson enrolled somebody. She's leading by example. I want us all to celebrate the little wins, because I'm going to celebrate you guys. I love you. You guys are all winners. I meant what I said about the sports. You're my heroes. You showed up in Las Vegas. You bet on me. You bet on Holly and Corbin. You bet on Kim and Samson. You bet on this entire group, Greg and Lori and Christine and Mark and all the wonderful people. You showed up here. To me, that means more than anything. I put on here, create a future for your family and your team. I don't believe that most people even know what's possible in this business. Can I tell you why? I don't think you let your mind go to what's possible. Because I don't think you allow yourself to go to what's possible. I know I didn't. In business, starting in my early 20s, I had no idea. I knew there was people who belonged to country clubs. That's not how I grew up. I grew up on the other side of the tracks. The opposite of money. It's called no money. I'm serious. I didn't grow up. We were so broke, we had to go to McDonald's and put a Big Mac on layaway. I'm being serious. I know what it's like to have nothing. I went to this kids event at Sophie at Macy Range a few weeks ago. My heart broke. We gave these kids duffel bags and Chick-fil-A and had a big blow-up slide for the kiddos and made their day. Just to put some joy in them for one day with Love 3. I know what it's like to not even, on the second point, not even be able to let your mind go there. You know what most of you are thinking when Kim speaks? Good for Kim, that's not me. Good for Samson, I'm not him. Good for Holly Roush. Oh wow, she proved the world wrong and went and retired her husband. Well, I can't do that. Bull crap, you can't do that. Holly can do that. No offense to Holly, there's nothing special except for a big heart and a drive in there. Mark Hill didn't have anything special but a big heart. Greg didn't have anything special except for a week after getting married, said, screw this, I can't be broke for my wife the next 3 decades. And he went out and killed it, and they went out and killed it together. I'm telling you, for number 2 to happen, you got to allow yourself to even go there, but I want you to know what's possible because of this. Number 3, lead a movement in your community. I think a movement's 2 people. A movement's 2 people. Charlie Kirk was 1 person. Abraham Lincoln was 1 person. Bob down the street is an amazing husband and father and leader in his community. It's 1 other person. That's a movement. Everybody in here, a lot of people in here think they need 20 or 30 people to create a movement. I think you need 2 people to create a movement. I want us all to create fires of pocket as we crisscross in the Sprinter van, going pocket to pocket. We'll stop at Waffle House, also known as Waffle House tonight. We're going to crisscross. Guess what? Everything I'm asking you to do, I'm going to do. If it's up to me, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm serious about that. Corbin's been awesome. He said, come on, let's go. Can we hit 5 cities? Let's go 10, 12, 15. I'm serious about that. I got a big gap right after the DSU. I don't even want to go to this DSU in Dallas, but I'm going to just for 48 hours so I can hear all the CEOs talk about what's not working. Lead a movement in your community. The growth engine. By the way, I'm just kidding. They're all wonderful people. The growth engine. You guys ready? Present, invite, duplicate, repeat. It's not my job to train in the field. It's Kim, it's Samson, Tolly, Corbin, Greg, Lori, Mark. I go down the list of our amazing leaders, but I want to share this. Present, invite, duplicate, repeat. It's exactly what Corbin's talking about before, income producing income. Local meetings, Zoom meetings, I want to keep this very generic. Put presentations in the app calendar. Guys, can we start adding the presentations? Start adding when you're doing a meeting. Let's start getting some excitement, momentum all over the U.S. when you're doing a meeting. Next thing is take massive action. It's the only thing I know works. Work works. I know no other shortcut. Tim Ferriss lied to everybody when he wrote the 10-hour work week or whatever that book's called. 4-hour work week. Tim Ferriss was a worker. He wrote a book. He's like Beyonce. Wrote that song, All the Single Ladies, and then went home to her $60 million home to her husband. All the single ladies, everybody was dancing, buying her album. She's married to Jay-Z. Y'all fell for it. All the single ladies. Tim Ferriss, 4-hour work week. That doesn't work. What works is work. You know what else works? Is loving and believing in people. We're going to take massive action to leave this room. Second thing is multiple presentations per week. Personally and in your team. The leaders probably aren't going to love Daniel Picou on Monday, but I'm reaching out to all of our 4, 5, and 6 stars as the coach. Not the leader, not the CEO, I hate that title, as the coach. Coach Picou. And I'm going to reach out to him and go, how many presentations did you do this week? How many people are you helping this week? How many Zooms did you get on this week? How many meetings are you hosting this week? As we put together and push this all over the U.S. I put momentum spreads, start local right away. I love Kim's message of a global, massive movement community. I love that. My message is if you live here in Las Vegas, start in Las Vegas. If you live in Salt Lake, start in Salt Lake. If you live in Florida, start in Florida. You live in California. My message is I want you to build right in your local community, build something massive and start to get a fire. Because I think our biggest leaders that haven't come in yet are in South Dakota. I think they're in Wyoming. I think they're broke, black African-American people in Atlanta that can't pay their mortgages. I think they're Hispanic people in Los Angeles that would die for the American dream. You know, we've got 8 people at the office speak Spanish in our support team that are bilingual, dual lingual. 8. We have 8 different people. Build a Spanish group. We've already got the support team to support your business. We've got people in Chicago and LA, 60 million Latina people in America looking for an opportunity. I believe our biggest leaders, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, Montana, Wyoming, Atlanta, Florida. I believe Holly Corbin have leaders 15 minutes from their house that can't pay their bills, that this business could change their life. I believe there's people in Utah we're going to change. We're going to go all over this country, but it's got to start right away, locally. Next thing, recognition and accountability. Why did I put this up here? I know a lot is on Sophie and Macy's shoulders, and they do a phenomenal job, along with Holly and social media and our recognition team. But I'll tell you this, Recognition and accountability also starts with you. And I've talked about us up your game, us taking you on amazing trips, all those things. But it also starts with the WhatsApp message. It also starts with, welcome to the family. Nilbert, that was so good. That was gold. Welcome to the 3 family. Not, hey, here's an opportunity. Welcome to the company. Let's make some money. Nilbert welcomes them in with open arms. That's phenomenal. That's gold. I want you guys to decide, post, celebrate your teams. I put small and big wins. Leadership starts with you. If there's one message I have, and I ramble on too long, leadership starts with you. I'm telling you guys, Daniel Picou's done with the excuses. And that goes for every rank, every leader, every new person. I'm personally done with it. Because I know that when my head hits that pillow, I give it my all. And my wife, and I'm going to bring her up again. I wish she was here to honor her. She is a saint. There's many nights I get home late. There's many nights I leave the office at 5, 6 o'clock, and I work for them 3, 4, 5 hours downstairs that night. She never complains, because she knows that 3 is a love affair for me. I love the people. I love Dr. Dan. I shut the door in Dr. Dan's office 2 weeks ago and I said, I've let you down. You've let me down. I love you. We just came back from France and Monaco. How have you let me down? I said, because I owe you massive explosive growth here in the United States. What? You're doing awesome. I said, Dr. Dan, these products are too good not to be in 1 million people's hands. I owe Sophie and Macy a personal growth program that they've never been through the next year, as I challenge them to kick serious butt. Nikki, Marco, Troy, our entire corporate team of studs and studettes, as I put them through this personal growth program of growth. Holly and Corbin owe it to you guys to build a massive company. Kim and Samson, we owe it to you to build a massive company. Greg and Lori owe it to you. We owe it to you. I didn't say you owe it to us. We owe it to you. You believed in me. You believed in us. You believed in we. You believed in Dr. Dan and the science. You believed in all of our leadership. We gave birth to the most beautiful thing 3 years ago, called 3. I owe it to you. We owe it to you. So I put this slide up. What is this? It's real simple. It's a 90-day game plan. I'm starting on this on Monday morning. I'll be very transparent with you. Tomorrow I'm doing nothing for 3. I haven't done that in 2.5 years. Thank you. I promised my wife tomorrow it's her day. And I told her on Monday, you might not see me for 4 or 5 days because I'm going crazy on Monday. I'm not kidding. These aren't words. This is a motivational speech. Remember Chris Farley, the motivational speaker? He was so talented. What a life lost too soon, that God-given talent. Monday we're starting to run. I'd like you guys to start to run tonight. But Monday I'm going to start to run. I'm going to sit down with my corporate team. I'm going to say, here's the vision for 3. We're going to build a massive platform, and here's some changes. I'm going to sit down with the leadership and say, I'm holding you accountable because we owe it to everybody. Guess what you owe it to? We owe it to you. Guess what who you owe it to? Yourself. Lisa Barrett, you're so damn talented. You're so talented. Did you guys see the speakers that came up here last 2 days? Cindy, incredibly talented. Massive heart. We owe it to you, but you owe it to yourself. So what are we going to do? You're going to register for Dallas. You're going to schedule weekly presentations, home Zoom and add to the calendar, and you're going to duplicate your team and track your weekly wins. And as we leave here, I owe you 3 things. I owe you the 4 things I talked about with simplicity, but here's the 3 things that I owe you. I owe you to give it my all, and I can tell you 2.5 years I have. But it's more than that for me now. There's a switch that's changed in the last couple of weeks. These are the 3 things that I owe you. First thing, I owe our leadership to lead them and to unify them and to grow together around the world, whether you're Chinese, Hong Kongese, Taiwanese, Indonesian, Malaysia, Canadian, or United Statesian, and American. I love this country. Where else can you barely have an education? Man, I've been so blessed. Most humbling thing for me is how blessed I've been. I sometimes sit back. Sometimes I have to just be by myself and reflect. Last night was kind of one of those nights for a couple hours. I think, how did all this happen? How did I start a couple companies and have some growth? How did I move to Utah, started a company, for 6 years, met the most amazing people that changed my life? There's a gentleman who believed in me. How did I meet Kim 2.5 years ago? How did I meet Holly Corbett 8 years ago? Kim and Samson 2.5. How did I meet Mark Ewell a couple years before I moved to Utah? Met Mark Ewell here in Las Vegas, the Red Rock. He was here because of the launch of a company. We met and just hit it off. Forget the material crap. I've been so blessed by the friendships. I've been so blessed by the friend calling me up. Hey, you're coming to Denver for Tennyson and DCH, Denver Children's Home? Stay at my home. Here's the garage good. Thank you. I left him a note. I said, I ate all your food. It was delicious. We've had that friendship for all these years. The friendships, the blessings, the edge, the charisma. Had a conversation with my wife the other day about charisma. I promise you guys I'm done in just a couple of minutes. Arnold Palmer, you know what they said on ESPN the day after he died? Arnold Palmer had more charisma than anybody you've ever met. And the next day he woke up with more, but he never let you know that he had any. I get chills when I think about this business. I get chills when I think about the possibilities. And I'm going to say this about my heart for a second. I've never met a leader in this industry that wanted to share with people and care about people and pour into people and give to people and reward people. I've never seen another leader that wants to do that because it's not ego-driven for me. It's helping you guys be more than you've ever had. Holly Corbett had me in touch with her capable. I'm going to try her nuts. I love him. Mark Ewell. He's seen the mountains and he's seen the valleys. They did the panel on what people have made. What they don't talk about is the hard times. Losing a relative. Your wife being sick. They don't talk about the hard times. They just talk about the wins. I'm here to tell you you're going to face some hard times, but the wins are so big, they're so worth it. I wish Kim would actually tell her whole story. I'm done in just a second, but I know she hasn't even shared her whole story with me, but she shared a decent piece. I wish Holly Roush would sit me down, look me in the eyes as a friend after 8 years, and actually share her story with me. Of her dad. I can see it. I know it. My dad left for 29 years. Didn't have a picture of him. My mom burned him all. That's a fact. I reunited with him in July 2010. Had 4 blessed years with my father. But Holly is a beautiful little girl in there that's had all this success. And her next year, her life's going to change. Samson. I'm just going to share this. We wrap up about our amazing leadership. Samson stands up there with his Armani jacket on. I know what kind of jacket that is. It's Armani jacket, Balenciaga, Gucci. He has all these brand names. He's super smart. He sits back and observes the whole room. I'm going to challenge Samson next year. Samson's been in the industry 20 years and had amazing success. But 2026 is going to be different for Samson. Greg and Lori, they're fun. They're smart. He's an engineer. Greg and Lori's here to serve you. They're here to serve you and their team. Adrian, she's come into her own. She's still trying to figure it out. Adrian, you did a great job. Did I? Well, thank you. Adrian, you don't even know what you're capable of. George and Lee, so much dang knowledge in that head to help people. Mark Ewell, tons of wisdom. Lance and Tracy, you have no idea what you're capable of. There's people that are waiting on the two of you to go give the gift that you had at 23 years old because somebody in Amway believed in you enough when you had nothing and you couldn't even pay bills for her. Somebody believed in you enough, Lance, that at 23 years old, they gave you an opportunity. Mark Ewell believed in his cousin enough, Glenn, to bring him here. Lisa Barons, I owe it to you to help you build a massive business. I'm done in 3 minutes. I just want to pick out our amazing leadership. We owe it to you. So the first thing I owe you is to challenge our leadership to grow like never before. Here's the last 2 things I owe you. You ready? I owe you a ton of fun. I've been super serious because there's a reason. I'm really a big kid. I said it yesterday. Kim will whisper, I've seen Kim on a couple trips with my wife. Daniel's just a big kid. Holly Roush, I am a big kid. And this big kid wants to have fun. I've had enough seriousness for 3 or 4 lifetimes. I know what it's like. December 19th, 6 days before Christmas. You want a boy's home with not a card, not a letter, not an email, not a phone call saying I love you. Now that's a different type of loneliness for those of you who are lonely. 13 years old. Spent 2.5 years in there. I know what it's like to be lonely. I know what it's like to be depressed. I know what it's like to have no hope. And you ready for this? I know what it's like to go from victim to victor. I wasn't going to let it own me. I've shared this now multiple times, including June. I wasn't going to let it own me. I don't want you guys to let your past own you. Let it go. I don't even like talking about it half the time. It's who I was. It was a different identity when I was a kid. I had no control over that. That's the family I was born into. You don't get to pick your family, but you get to pick your friends. I have friends that treat me like family. What a blessing I've had for 2.5 decades as an adult. So my message to you is the second thing that I owe you is the first thing to challenge you. The second thing I owe you guys, I owe it to you is to have fun. I want us to be the fun company. Take the science out of it all the time. Take all the seriousness out of it. Figure out how to just share with somebody what 3 is. Found something fun. I think we could make some money. Are you interested? Yes or no? I love that. No, I'm not interested. Great. I got to call somebody else that is. Sounds like you don't like to have fun and make money. Gotta go. Tell me yes or tell me no, but tell me quick because I gotta go. I've said this over and over, and I'll say it again as I finish. I want everybody to say, tell me yes. Tell me yes.
Tell me yes.
Tell me yes. Or tell me no.
Or tell me no.
But tell me quick.
Tell me quick.
Because I gotta go.
I gotta
That's like 40 seconds. That's not 60 minutes. That's a TV show, by the way. It's 40 seconds. Stop spending so much time with people that aren't interested. They just don't have the guts to tell you they're not interested. I'm telling you they're not interested. I've said this before. Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick, I gotta go. I'm serious about it. That's my sense of urgency. So the second thing I owe you guys, ready? I want you to be intense, I want you to be serious, but I want to have a blast. I'm trying to figure out for 2025 what we're going to do. We're going to have a convention in September, October in America. Conventions are expensive. I only want to have a convention if they kick butt and people leave there and we kick some more butt and go to the next level. Trying to figure out, do we do a trip? Do we do a weekend West Hollywood? I talked about West Hollywood. I'm going to keep you dancing. I talked about the leadership meeting and the convention. We might do a little trip towards you. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm going to talk to Kim. I'm going to talk to Holy Court. I'm going to talk to Sam. I'm going to talk to our leaders. Greg and Lori. I go down the list. That APAC core, that North American core. Kim has her APAC core. Well, I've got a kick-ass team that's North American core. Kim's team kicks serious freaking butt. My team kicks serious butt. They're not my team, they're Kim's team. Kim's team's not her team, it's our team. We're one big core, APAC core. Soon we'll have European core, and South American core, and Central American core. We'll have all these cores as we take this platform to billions. But the second thing I owe you is a ton of fun. I don't want to always be serious. I want to be hanging in the pool with you, listening to some good music. Listen to a little Biggie. You like Biggie? Tupac or Biggie? Neither one. Jeez. That's why I'm disappointed. What about Elton John? You like Elton John? What if we had a big free concert where we bought tickets at a certain rank and everybody went to an amazing concert? Lori likes AC/DC. I've never seen him. I've been too busy working. Lori likes Guns N' Roses. I've been too busy working. What if we took everybody to a concert? What if we went to West Hollywood? What if we went to New York? What if we went to Miami? Those are the things I'm thinking about. Everybody has a convention every year. After a while, it's like, oh, another convention. Let's go have some freaking fun. That's the second thing I owe you. And the third thing I owe you, and I've said this many a times, grow me, serve you. I think I've grown more as a person in 90 days than I have the last 2.5 years. I would actually change that. 45 to 60 days, I think I've grown more. I'll say that. My intensity shifted. It's a different intensity. Now it's a quiet intensity, a grapefruit intensity. My intensity shifted. I can still be passionate. I'm a maniac. I'm passionate. But I close to say this: grow me, serve you. I want you guys to grow. I want you to do the worst presentation you've ever done in 3 if you've even done a presentation. You don't have to be great to get started, but if you end up wanting to be great, you better get started right away. You have to. Go screw it up. Go make a massive mess. Go tell somebody you know what you're doing when you don't. I've had to do that over and over. I hate the term fake it till you make it, but you know what I love? Everything is figure-outable. You want to present like Lisa Barron? Sit with her for 20 minutes. She'll teach you how to be a professional. Holy moly. She can motivate a dead guy. You want to learn Kim's intensity and passion? I'm going to say this as I close. Kim has done thousands of presentations. She sucked the first few years, I bet you. National Telecom, Jerry Ballard, NTC, ACN's competitor. Corbin, you think Corbin jumped in and knew how to present? Corbin was behind the 8 ball because Holly was out working. Corbin just said, you can attach me that debit card so I get some of your money. Mark Ewell, I guarantee in his 20s he sucked and couldn't present. Lance was probably horrible his first year, but he got better. And he got better. And he got better. And Christine got better. And she got better. And she got a little bit better. My challenge to you is this: grow me, serve you. But I want you to grow you and serve you. I want you to grow you and serve this community. I want to leave here for the first time in 2.5 years. You guys have done an amazing job. I'm so proud of you guys. To see where we're at for 2.5 years is such an honor for me. It's such an honor to sit back and say, look what's been accomplished. 14 countries, 5 offices, a large corporate staff, still running lean and mean, but an amazing corporate team, amazing field leadership. I say this all the time, I'll say it publicly again like I've never seen before. But here's what we owe it to ourselves, grow me, serve you. We owe it to ourselves to go out and do 5 presentations per week, 10 presentations per week. And I'll end with this. The reason why we owe that, you ready? Is because somebody changed your life by introducing you to 3. And I don't think our leaders at times even understand the impact and the power they have in their hand. Somebody changed Samson's life and gave him an opportunity. Kim's life 30 years ago. Lance Tracy, everybody I'm named, Holly Roush, Greg Moore, Adrian George. Somebody changed their lives by giving them an opportunity. I don't look at this as a company or a community anymore. I'm on a mission. I've shared before, Mom, the maniac on a mission, it's in my heart. You never know the man upstairs, what he has in store. But I believe God doesn't turn rock piles into gardens with beautiful flowers. I believe God brings the sunshine and you bring the water hose and you go out every day at 6, 7 a.m. and with the sunshine and the water hose, you turn that rock pile into a garden. That's how I live my life. That's how I want you to live your life. So as I finish, I want you to take home that I love you. I believe in you. You're my heroes. I'm not even interested in going to the big sporting events anymore. I'm interested in growing to 3. I'm interested in growing 3. I'm being serious when I say that. Outside of spending time with my wife and kiddos and family, 3 is my life. In church on Sundays. I love this community. I love this family. Kim, I love you. Thanks for betting on me. I said no to Mark Pentecost before I ever met you in person. I said no to Wendy before I ever met you in person. I did 0 business at the J Company. Kim did billions, and yet somehow I flew on that plane. That business beyond. Mark treated me with the utmost respect. I owe him a thank you on October 6th. Kim's treated me incredible. I owe Holly and Court a thank you for believing in me. I owe Holly Corbin 2 nights ago, and thank you for staying up until 12:45, 1 in the morning and brainstorming how to take North America to the next level. I owe Greg and Lori a thank you, because we've had some tough conversations, and Greg has never wavered. Love you guys. I owe Samson for being logical and the level head and cool hand. Luke, I owe Samson a thank you. I owe Adrian a thank you for treating me like a true friend. I owe George Ruiz, who puts his arm around me and always says, I love you, Daniel. I owe George a big thank you. And as I leave here, I owe Shannon Schmidt the biggest thank you for inspiring me. A brain tumor Stage 4. Got up here with no excuses. We're the top enrollers in the entire company and shared. Shannon, I owe you a thank you for jumping on an airplane, showing up here.
That's right.
Making me not even be able to look at you for 5 minutes because I was looking down at my phone taking notes. And I started to get a tear in my eye. You're my inspiration, Shannon. You're my inspiration. Anybody, Kim's hip is hurting. There's a lot of excuses she didn't have to show up. There's a lot of people in here that didn't have to show up that didn't feel good. But this woman, Shannon, has been fighting something real. And she showed up. You're my hero. And I mean that sincerely. I want to give you a big hug. Grow me, serve you. I'm going to challenge you guys. We're going to leave here. Are you ready? This is the last. I keep saying last thing. I want 45 minutes. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Guess how easy this industry is. It's 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. We have a massive. I'm not going to let one leader tell me not to connect with the people. This entire thing is built on connection, community, and the people. I'll talk to whoever I want. I'll stay up to whoever I want. I'll bring in different leaders. I won't personally. You guys will. And we'll mentor them and grow them. I love people. God gave me a gift. I don't bring up God a lot. I try to separate God from business, but God gave me a gift. And that is knowing what the underdog feels like. It's my only gift. I know what the underdog feels like to have nothing, and I know what the overdog feels like to be overpaid at times. I've had both. Way better to be rich than poor. I like being called Mr. Picou rather than Daniel. Oh, Mr. Picou, welcome. I want you to experience that. I want you to be able to go to the nice restaurants, the game, take your wife out, treat her like a princess she is. I say that to say, I know what it's like to be on both sides, but I have a heart for the underdog. Everybody in here is an underdog because you're involved in our industry of crazy people that corporate America still can't figure us out. I freaking love it. Why are they in Vegas on the weekend? It's Saturday. I love you guys. I believe in you is my overriding message. I love you. I believe in you. Gary Wharton, heal your past because you got a lot of people to help. Ken, you know what you're capable of. Mark Ewell, we're coming back, baby. And when we come back, we'll be bigger than we ever were. I believe in you. I love you. I want you to love you. I want you to go share this with people because there's a St. Shannon Schmidt out there whose life has been completely impacted and changed because of these products and this opportunity. There's actually hundreds of thousands of Shannon Schmidts out there that aren't in this room. I've said way too much. Do not miss an event. That goes for all of our leadership. If there are 4, 5, and 6 stars, we're holding a corporate event, I promise you'll be there. That's for every team. You ready? But it's on my job to put out a calendar for you so we know the stuff's coming up. Okay? That was so amazing. I didn't want my speech to be inspirational. I wanted my speech to be from my heart and to share with you my love for you. Leave this room. Don't hang out and talk to each other here and say, what is he talking about? I want you to run out of here and share with people free. I want you to get somebody on a call, text them, share a video, get inside the app, put your meetings on the calendar. Tell Holly and Corbin, get up here. There should be 20 people running to the front and saying, thank you for believing in 3, Holly and Corbin. 20 people should be grabbing Kim at the back of the room saying, Kim, why the heck did you come out of retirement to do this? And there should be 30 people go to Lance and Tracy and give them a hug and say, Lance and Tracy, because of the little tiny things, some people turn to a right instead of a left. Who knows what was divine and destined, but because of Lance and Tracy, we're all here. 30 people should be running up after this, hugging Lance and Tracy and saying thank you. Hugging Holly and Corbin for staying in touch with Lance and Tracy, saying thank you. And hugging Kim, Lee, and Samson for believing in what we do. And all the leaders from my previous community and Kim's previous community. I'm done talking about either company for the rest of my life. I'm talking about 3.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Let's leave this room. Let's charge out of here. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to grow me. I'm here to grow you. I'm here to share. I'm here to dig into the presentation. I'm here to challenge Samson and Adrian. I'm here to challenge Holly and Corbin. I'm here to post for you morning. Good morning, has so much spitfire in her. I'm like 7 feet tall. She really like this. I love you guys. I appreciate you. God bless and safe travels. See ya.